Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to go over what a branch is. We're also going to go over the big picture so that you understand how to use branches either at work or school. We're going to learn how to create a branch. We're going to learn how to delete a branch. We're going to learn how to list all branches. We're going to learn how to switch between branches. And we'll learn a couple of cool shortcut commands that'll help you with your development process. All right, so let's get started. All right, so a branch is simply a different version of your project. You can create as many different branches as you want, and you can name them anything you want. Although there is a naming convention that developers usually follow, but we'll go over that later in this video. Now, when you're starting from scratch, the default branch that you start off on is called the master branch. Now, there's nothing special about this branch other than it's the branch that you start off on, but it behaves just like any other branch that you'll interact with. Branches are represented in the form of graphs, and they sort of resemble timelines. So they come in two forms, either horizontal or vertical. Now, you might see them on your textbook or online, okay? They sort of look like this. Okay, so you have the horizontal graph and you have the vertical graph. The circles in the graphs represent commits. In a horizontal graph, the oldest commits are on the left, while the newest commits are on the right. In a vertical graph, the oldest commits are at the bottom, while the newest commits are at the top. In this example, we will be using a horizontal type graph. Now let's say you're at work or school and you're given the task to add a submit button to the project. You're going to want to start on the master branch. And we'll assume that there are already some commits on this master branch. We do not want to start writing code while on the master branch, but instead we want to create a new branch. And this new branch will be your feature branch. When naming your feature branch, a good naming convention to follow is the word feature slash and then a super short description of your feature. In this example, we will be calling it feature slash submit button. Now that you've created this new branch, you will want to switch over to it. Now you can start writing your submit button code. Once you're finished, you're going to want to merge your new code back onto the master branch so that master has the latest and greatest code. From here, the cycle continues. So your team members will use this same process, and that way you can all work together at the same time on the same project without stepping on each other's toes. To create a branch, type in get branch and then the name of the new branch. So in this example, we're going to follow the same naming convention as the previous example. So we're going to call this feature slash submit button. And when I press enter, this new branch will be created. Okay. Now, a couple things to note here is that we've created a new branch, but we're still on master. Okay, we're on the master branch, but we did create this branch. It's just sitting out in the background somewhere. Okay. Another thing to note is that when you create a branch, like if I were to run this again, same name and everything, and I run it, you'll see that it gives me an error. And the reason for that is because you can't have two branches with the same name. So no duplicates are allowed, okay? And another thing to note, this one's actually really important. I see a lot of people miss this all the time, is that when you create a new branch, you are essentially creating a copy of whatever branch you were on when you created it. So, in other words, you see this branch that I created just now, right? This feature slash submit button. So, this branch is basically a copy of master. Master was the branch that I was on when I ran this command. So, what do I mean by that? What do I mean a copy? So, you see how I'm on master, right? If I do git log, you'll see that there's only one commit here, okay? And the commit message for this is first commit. So I'm going to switch over to this new branch that I created, and here's a little foreshadowing. To do that, you type in git checkout and then the name of the new branch. So feature slash submit button. So now that I switch over to it, okay, I will type in git log again, and you'll see that this new branch also has just one commit, and it's the same commit. It's the one with this first commit as the commit message. So essentially, when you create a new branch, it will inherit all the commits from whatever branch you were on when you created it. Does that make sense? All right. To delete a branch, you type in git branch dash D and then the name of the branch. So let's go ahead and try to delete the branch that we just created, feature slash submit button, right? Now if I press enter, you'll see that I get an error. And the reason I'm getting this error is because we are currently on that branch. So we can't just pull the rug right underneath. We actually need to be in a different branch. We can't be on the same branch that we want to delete. So we could switch over to any other branch. Um, and again, to switch over to another branch, you type in git checkout. And we could switch over to master. So we'll go ahead and do git checkout master. You'll see that now we are on the master branch. And so now we can go ahead and delete that branch that we created, feature slash submit button. We press enter. You'll see that it says deleted branch feature slash submit button. Now, one thing to note is that sometimes, especially if you've done a lot of work on your new branch, on the branch that you're trying to delete, it will complain if you try to delete it. If you try to run this command, it'll complain about not having merged those changes to another branch. Okay. And so to fix that, you simply replace this lowercase d with an uppercase D. Okay, and basically what that does is it forces the deletion of this branch. Okay, the branch that you're trying to delete. Okay, so try it with a lowercase d. If it does complain and you're sure that you want to delete that branch, then just change it to capital D and it'll force that deletion for you. To list all the branches in your repository, type git branch. Okay, just git branch and then press enter. And it should give you a list of all the branches that are in your repository. So I've already created a few here. I have one called feature slash cancel button, I have another one called feature slash honey roasted peanuts. Here's my master branch. And then this one here is called, you can name this whatever you want. And remember, you can name your branch whatever you want, but it is highly recommended that you follow some sort of naming convention. Okay, so you might want to uh, talk to your colleagues or your coworkers or team members and see what kind of naming convention they're following. This one here is pretty popular, like I said. Um, as a prefix, you basically add the word feature, and then slash, and then the name of the feature you're trying to add. Just a small, short description. Other people might actually add the ticket number to the branch name. So if you're using some sort of ticketing system, you might want to include the ticket number on there as well. Okay. And then one more thing to note is you might be wondering why this is green. So the reason this is green is because that's the branch that we're currently on. Okay. That's actually also why this asterisk shows up on here. So if we were on a different branch like feature slash cancel button, let me show you. Let me show you that right now actually. So feature slash cancel button. If we switch over to it and then we do get branch again, you'll see that now feature slash cancel button is green. Okay, and then also the asterisk shows up on there. Now you might already know this, but to switch over to another branch, you type get checkout and then the name of the branch you're trying to switch over to. So I'm currently on this feature slash cancel button branch, and let's say I want to switch over to the master branch. I would type in get checkout and then master, okay? And then once I press enter, it'll switch me over to the master branch. Now, there's a couple things to note here. So when you switch over to another branch, you can't have any changes lying around. So for example, see how I was previously on feature slash cancel button? Okay. And I was able to switch over to master without any issues. But if I had changes, if I was on this branch and I had made changes and the changes were on the working directory and staging area, I would not have been able to switch over to master. Git will complain and will ask you to either undo those changes or commit the changes. Okay, so make sure your working area is clean before you switch over to another branch. Now there is another command called git stash, which basically puts your changes off to the side so that you can switch over to another branch. But we'll learn about git stash and other commands in another video. Now here's a way to create and switch over to a new branch all on the same line. So in the previous example, we created a branch and then we switched over to it, right? We had to run two commands. But if you want to do it all on one line, you would type git checkout and then dash B and then the name of the new branch. So let's say it's called feature slash super feature. Okay. So this is the name of our new branch. So once I press enter, two things will happen. One, it'll create this branch, and two, it'll automatically switch over to it. So if I press enter, you'll see that it created the new branch, but it also switched over to it. If I do get branch to look at the list of branches, you'll see that it shows up on there. Okay.